Welcome to the Takeout Effect, brought to you by Business Takeout. The Takeout Effect brings real conversations in business. I'm your host, and my name is Banki. Now, today's guest, I don't know what happened with my laptop. Today's guest was named one of the top Black women to watch in Canada for 2020 by the Canadian International Black Women Event, the CIBWE. Her cleaning company, Mona Cleaning, was Homestar's Best Award for cleaning services in 2018, 2019, 2020. And in March of 2019, I had the pleasure of watching Sheri-Anne on CBC's network for the show Under New Management. I like to welcome Sheri-Anne Woolley to the audience. And Sheri, can you? That was quite an intro.
I think so. Thank you. Thank you, Banki. I'm happy to be here. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining. My name is Sheri-Anne Woolley. I am the owner of Mona Cleaning Service here in Toronto. We predominantly service Markham and Toronto. We are an award-winning cleaning service. Banki named a few, but we got quite a few. I also co-own Senior Helpers Markham with my sister. And that's a business where we provide PSWs and caregivers into the home to take care of the aging. And then I recently, well, not recently, but I've been trying to push my personal brand, SheriAnne Inc, where I provide business organizational structure and business modeling. And I build systems and automations, workflows, just to help businesses run more efficiently.
Amazing. So Sheri, if I was to ask you, what is the soul of Sheri? And what I mean by that is, who is Sheri as a person?
I say, a lot of people, will look at me and say that I don't look friendly, that I'm harsh and I'm assertive, and I think I am assertive. But I don't mince my words, I guess, and work is work for me. And I think for some people, especially in the later years where it's, if you're not happy, don't do the job and all this kind of talk. And I just don't subscribe to that. But I think my soul deep down is very kind, very giving. And then, I kind of have this shield that I put up because the world is the world. So that's me. Take it or leave it.
Yes, definitely. And I can definitely, for the years I've known you, I would definitely admit that you are very kind and very given. So I love those choice of words.
Thank you. Thank you.
So this isn't the first time that you've been on the Business Takeout platform.
No, we've had our own John.
Yes. So some of our viewers may have seen Sheri and I on another podcast on the Business Takeout platform, and that was the Bombshell Impact podcast. And not many people know that Bombshell Impact is a separate brand from Business Takeout. It's its own brand. It's the brand that we created a few years back. Do you mind letting everyone know more about what Bombshell Impact is?
Yeah, so Bombshell Impact is a women's business group where we provide business tips and business resources to women entrepreneurs. The goal was really to nurture this group and share our expertise with the group to help other businesses reach the next level, whatever that is for them. But, as we've been going along, both of our plates have been extraordinarily full. So we've kind of put that show aside for you to do some other things on your platform and for me to build up so that we can really dedicate our efforts to the Bombshell Impact. So we're still active there, but we're just not as active as we had hoped to be initially. So it's still a good group, still a place to be. Ask your questions. We're there to answer and provide any help that you need.
Yes, and for anyone who hasn't checked it out yet, it is a Facebook group. If you look for Bombshell Impact, please feel free to join. And if you have any questions in the group, just submit your questions and we'll be happy to answer you. Yep, and that was Bombshell Impact. Now, let's talk about Mona's Cleaning. So it's a business that was birthed, I would say it was born in the spring of 2008.
Correct.
What was the journey that led to the birth of Mona Cleaning?
So I have a 25 plus year corporate background and at a senior level. So I've done a lot of operations management. And when you're operating at that level for a corporation, the news you tend to pay attention to is corporate news. So I got laid off once in corporate, and it didn't feel good, but I got hired back really quickly under the same company umbrella. And then I got laid off a second time, and my entire world was just rocked, okay? Because I really enjoy autonomy in my role. I like leading people. I like driving results. In my corporate life is where I learned how to track and analyze numbers, and I love that kind of stuff. And when you can look at numbers and determine what activities or what actions led to that number, I think that's magic. So that's something that I did in corporate a lot of. And when I got laid off the second time, it really hurt me. So I was out to figure out what I was going to do next. And on the way home, I'll never forget, after being laid off, I called up my cleaning lady and I said, later for you. And she's like, why? And I told her I just been laid off. So time to clean house, time to, preserve my cash, that kind of stuff. And this lady called me for 3 months straight. 3 months straight.
Determination.
Come clean with me. And I was like, how am I going to leave this big old 6-figure salary to go scrub toilets? That was really my response. And she kept at me. And I believe that things like that happen for a reason. I believe that, there's something to be discovered. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm not doing anything else. Let me come out with you. I went my first day out. She left me in a home alone. What should have taken like 2.5 hours took me 5 hours. I was scared. The neighbors were watching me. I'm in a white person's home, Black woman looking out the window. And there's the neighbor looking up at me, probably wondering who the heck I am. Anyway, so after that day, I said, you know what, if I'm going to help this lady, let me help her in my expertise. So I started modeling what the business should look like and how to have safety precautions and training and all of this stuff, because she didn't know if I could clean or not. But she said, based on how I kept my home, she knew I could. But that's still not enough, right? Because it took me 5 hours and it took her 2.5. People pay for time. So there's got to be some kind of order to it. So I started building that out. And I worked with her for probably 3 months, and she's like, go do your thing. So I did. I started my own service. I started very bare basics. Marketing was the first thing I started to do. And our first venture out to get people, I think we got 52 people interested, 26 people want a freebie, 13 people serviced the freebie. 6 of those became my client, and then we just grew from there. And the major thing that I wanted to have in Mona was the processes and the system, so I could feel like the environment that I left behind. So I built that, and I guess for me, that was normal, but for others looking in, they're like, wow, how did you do that? Because I made it to 6 figures quite quickly. But yeah, that's just how I got started.
Yes, and it's so amazing that you identified what your passion was from the corporate life and was able to build a business and incorporate that passion into it, which is amazing.
Yeah. And hindsight is 2020, right? Because I had no idea that my skill set was a skill set until years into the business. I mean, in the beginning, when people said it, but years into the business is when I realized that, automation, building systems guarantee success. If you want to be successful, you need systems. I see the power of that. And now I've started to offer it as a service.
Okay. So Mona Cleaning, what makes it different from any other cleaning company in Ontario? For those who are watching, we're located in the Greater Toronto area, outside of Toronto, but the Greater Toronto area in Ontario, Canada. I know that people are watching from all over the world. In this specific geographical location, what made your business unique from other cleaning service companies?
Well, I think that we're a very cultured cleaning service. So we hire a lot of Black people, not on purpose. That's just the way it goes. I mean, I guess it's me. We're eco-friendly, so we don't use chemicals to clean, which is a big deal. And it's funny because now with COVID, we have people asking us to do all kinds of ridiculous things that are not eco-friendly. So it's actually quite, it's just uncanny, I guess. We're, I think we're just what makes us different.
Well, I was thinking of the eco-friendly products that you use.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the biggest difference. I think we've got a lot of other things that make us different. Like we're very corporately run in here with all the rules and regulations and policies. And like I've been audited like twice, and I flew through with flying colors. So I'd like to say that from an admin standpoint, we're very on point.
Great. And for as long as I've known you, and I've only known you for the past couple of years, but I've known about Sheri-Anne Inc. At the time that I've known about Sheri-Anne Inc., it was more of a coaching for women in the service-based industry. And I was one of your clients, and I had a great time with our coaching calls, and still do. And I wanted to ask you, how did Sheri-Anne Inc. started?
So through running my cleaning service, when I was, probably 6 years in, I started traveling a lot. And I was traveling 2 to 3 times a year. And people would always ask me, like the ladies at the gym, the lady who owned the gym I went to, how are you traveling all the time? Who's looking after your business? How do you know what's going on? And I kind of felt like I didn't take it as a compliment. I didn't know how to take it. And so I was like, well, I've got people that work with me and for me. And I thought it was as simple as that. And they're like, well, what do you make sales? Like, how does all of that keep going? And I'm like, I got people working for me, not realizing that the processes and the systems and the how-tos and the checklists, all of that I put in place, performance reviews, that keeps people moving in the role. And I only know that from corporate. So when I build it, I just think it's going to work the same way. I had no other expectation. And that's what happened. I built the processes and the procedures. People worked by them. We had reviews. And whether you're there or not, people care about how they perform. They want to know that you care about how they perform. So having performance reviews and standards to work by was a very big part of that. And when I say my business runs on autopilot and it's automatic, what I really mean is there are instructions and ways to do things in my business. So whether I'm there or not, sales still happen. Whether I'm there or not, the phone still gets answered. We still close those sales. We follow up with those people. So there's lots, and people don't understand, like, this could take you a long time to build, but it is the thing you need if you ever want to scale to 6 figures or beyond.
Yes. And when I had started with you, I guess I thought I was getting a business coach, and she was going to help me to scale up to 6 figures. And at that point, that's all I wanted. I wasn't really thinking about what it really took. And with your guidance, I've really come to really know a lot about the systems and processes of your business. And you then changed the title of your position with Sheri-Anne Inc. So what I mean by that, you went from saying what I thought, scaling, up to 6 figures, right? And then you changed it to identifying exactly what you do. And that was, it was business operations consulting.
Yep.
It was workflow management, and it was systems and processes. And you catered it to specifically the service-based business. And I'm glad you did that because it shows your experience. You have tons of experience working with service-based in the service-based area. With your cleaning company is a service-based business. So, what if you were to give anyone any tips for running their business? What would you give them?
Build a foundation first. A lot of people will take, let's say the foundation has 7 legs or 6 legs, whatever. A lot of people will take one leg and they think that is the business because they're putting themselves out there and somebody's calling. But, and I'm going to tie this up with another story. When I first started my cleaning service, someone from Seneca College, he was the, like a professor in marketing, approached my company and he was doing an interview. He used me kind of like a sample with his class. So he then went on to do a, what's it called? A mystery shopper. So it was me and 2 or 3 other cleaning services. And he called us up and we didn't know when he was calling, but we knew it was going to happen. But he had his students call. So we never knew. And I wasn't answering the phone at the time. And they'd call us up and they'd ask us a number of questions. They'd have our service. And then at the very end, they'd rate all the services, all the cleaning services on the same criteria. It was like admin, marketing, customer service, and follow-up, and how timely we were. And I blew all the other companies that were triple the size of me. And that's because I started to build the foundation first. So when I started going out and decided, okay, I'm going to clean, I built, the little bit of marketing that I needed. I made sure admin was on point. I invested in a CRM right away. So I could house my employees. I could house my customers' information. I could house credit card information. I could house scheduling information, which is everything, right? So, and I do have scheduling in my background as well. So a lot of these things worked in my to my advantage, and I was able to kind of set that out. So we flew through that mystery shopper with flying colors. We were rated #1. And the biggest thing that people said that they liked was the fact that we gave them an invoice. And I was like, oh, doesn't everybody give an invoice? But again, I'm trying to be very, polished and very top of the top. And so when I started out that way, I think that really gave me an advantage and a solid base to be able to build on.
Amazing. So, Sheri-Anne, you are a mom. You have more than one business ventures going on right now. How do you manage it all? How do you do the work-life balance thing?
So for the first 8 years of my business, I ran it out of my basement. So I was still at home. So when it's kid time, it's kid time. And when it's not kid time, it was work time. So when the kids are in bed and I had them in bed early, I would get back to work for a little bit. My husband at the time didn't like it, but that's how I got to where I am today. So it is what it is. And I make sure, and more so in the beginning than now, because now they're big people, they don't need me. So my alone time or my not with them time is spent doing whatever I feel like. Sometimes it's work, sometimes I'm at the lake, sometimes it's just absolutely nothing. But I made sure that I, had things in order. I'm a planner, so I know what's coming up in the next few days, and I plan things. So I plan my time with them. Planning at work allows me to pull away whenever I need to. So that's kind of how I balanced it. And now that they're older, I have a little bit more liberty to do what I want.
Yeah, that is great. And it's so important to plan out everything. Because if you don't plan your day, you're screwed.
Yeah, it's a waste, right?
Yeah, pretty much, because then you will waste so much time that if you plan your day at least the night before, that you can get so much done throughout the day. So
Agreed.
definitely planning, very important.
For sure.
So, affect any your businesses? Mona cleaning, for example. How did COVID-19 affect your businesses?
So it's interesting. The senior one I'll touch on really quickly. I think there was a lot of fear from employees, a lot of fear in seniors. So we didn't lose anybody, but we didn't gain anybody. So that was that. Now we're starting to pick up a little bit more. I think we've been in and out of this lockdown long enough where people are just in need of the care, so they'll get us in. The cleaning service, that was interesting because we came to a complete halt. So our business did drop by more than 75%, but the 25% that was left over were all essential services, which was just, I don't know, by the grace of God, I really don't know, but we only service essential services in our commercial or evening work. So that kept us going. And then, I would say June 2020, we started to call people back up and started to offer back our services to our clients. And surprisingly enough, many of them came back, but there's still a lot of people that didn't come back. And for some reason, we had a complete, entirely new a new set of people approach us in September and October of 2020. So it was very, very interesting. But again, I like to tell people, because I have, systems and processes and all this stuff laid out, it's very easy for me to take a bird's eye view of my business, see what's working, see what's not working, see where I was profitable, see where I wasn't profitable. And although my residential side was the bigger side of my business, commercial is more profitable. So I started to grow with more service-based businesses through COVID. And I actually decided that this was hard enough kick in my butt that I would then start to offer my services more seriously, my coaching services. So offering, automation and workflow assistance to people. And again, by the grace of God, most of my clients are multiple six figures. So I am so grateful. But, that has been probably one of the hardest things I've ever done, much harder than starting my service, my cleaning service, much harder than, running it for all these years. It's making this shift to online. There's a cadence to it. There's a strategy to it. You have to have so many foundational pieces in place that you don't even think are foundational pieces in order to get online, in order to do the thing online and do it in the way that allows you to grow and get attention and book clients. So that has been a big challenge for me. I'm very old school. I think technology is just destroying our world, but hey, I need it for work. I needed it when my kids were in school. So I kind of have a love-hate relationship with it. But it's been quite the journey doing my thing online, but I'm loving my journey. So
yeah. And for those who are tuning in from various parts of the world, I believe the province of Ontario had announced a province-wide lockdown or shutdown for the next 4 weeks. So which makes businesses in our area more challenging to even grow with the lockdown in place. There's a lot of changes in that area as well. Salons are still closed. So it's been challenging, right? So be able to focus on your SheriAnne Inc. for operating your business operations, I think is great, because I think what COVID has done is push a lot of people to start their own business. As a graphic and web designer, I see that all the time. So it's really great what you're doing, because it really helps people start the foundation, as you've mentioned, right?
Thank you.
I'm going to have one final question before we end the show today. What would be a celebrity or a public figure that you admire or that you're inspired by, and why?
Well, I've always loved Will Smith, and everybody knows that. And you know what? I think I had a little period of time where I didn't like Will Smith, but I'm going to say Will Smith because I still do like him. And why I like him is because when the world started moving to the online, the Instagram, all of these things, he reinvented himself, and he was on Instagram every single day doing all these dare tactics and all of these stunts. And I just thought, what a way to innovate. And, he's not just an actor. He is so many other things. He started a business. He's helped his children start businesses. And I just love that. I just love that. So I think, Will Smith.
Okay. For me, it's Oprah.
Okay. Wow.
I really like the fact that she had a passion, she had a dream, she knew what she wanted. She stood firm at going after what she wanted and did not give up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely Oprah.
Nice.
So, Sheri, there was a comment in the audience, and he said, great topic. Can I get Sheri-Anne's contact in regards to her workflow business? So we're going to close off today by letting everyone know, how can we reach you, Sheri?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at SheriAnne Inc. There it is on the screen for you. Please like and follow, and you can DM me there. My website is SheriAnneWoolley.com. It's about to get an overhaul. But yes, that's where my website is. But reaching me on Instagram is probably the easiest way. And you can just send me a message on Instagram. And
LinkedIn.
And LinkedIn at Sheri-Anne Woolley. There we go. Yes, I'm on LinkedIn as well. So you can find me on LinkedIn at Sheri-Anne Woolley. And there's the spelling of my name there on the screen with a hyphen between the Sheri and the Anne. And I'll be on the interwebs.
Yes, the reason why I said LinkedIn was that this specific comment came from LinkedIn.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Nice. Good.
So I'd like to really thank you for spending time with us today. It's been a pleasure to know about the businesses that you have, your experience, your journey, the services you provide, how you help businesses stay afloat and succeed. So it's really been a pleasure speaking with you. Would love to know more would love to see the future of SheriAnne Inc. Let's say that. And for everyone that's watching today, thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this interview, please like, share, and subscribe. Look, he said thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you so much for having me today, Banki. Always a pleasure chatting with you. And I look forward to doing it again.
Yes. And everyone, the Takeout Effect is brought to you by Business Takeout. The Takeout Effect brings real conversations in business. Tune in every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have yourself a great day.